texture and flavor. The result? A perfectly preserved, tangy delight that stays fresh for months. In this video, we'll take you behind the scenes of one of the largest pickle factories in the world, where traditional methods meet cutting-edge technology to create the ultimate pickling perfection. And if you love discovering the hidden stories behind everyday foods, hit that subscribe button now. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in, from fresh cucumbers to the perfect crunchy pickles. The journey begins, from farm to factory. Before cucumbers can become pickles, they need to grow under precise, carefully monitored conditions. This journey begins in vast cucumber fields, where the combination of rich, well-drained soil, warm temperatures, and expert irrigation ensures the best quality crops. One of the top cucumber growing regions is Plainview, Texas, a place known for its sandy loam soil and ideal climate. Here, modern farming techniques ensure cucumbers grow firm, straight, and packed with crispness, just what's needed for the perfect pickle. It all starts with meticulously prepared soil, tilled for aeration and enriched with essential nutrients. Then, high-tech seeding machines go to work, planting thousands of cucumber seeds in precisely spaced rows. Just 7 to 10 days later, tiny green shoots begin to emerge, signaling the start of a new crop. But here's something most people don't realize. Bees play a crucial role in cucumber farming. Each cucumber flower blooms for only 24 hours, and during that short window, it needs to be pollinated at least 10 times to produce a fruit. To make sure this happens, farmers bring in up to 100 beehives, creating a buzz of activity in the fields. Without these pollinators, cucumber yields would drop dramatically, proving that nature and technology must work together to produce the perfect pickle. Over the next 50 days, cucumber plants grow rapidly, developing their signature crisp texture. But harvesting them at the right time is critical. Too early, and they won't have that perfect crunch. Too late, and they grow too large, too soft, and unsuitable for pickling. Farmers closely monitor their fields, waiting for the ideal size, between 1.5 and 1.75 inches in diameter. The moment they reach that perfect stage, the race is on. Harvesting must begin immediately, because every second counts. Harvesting. Timing is everything. Cucumbers don't wait, and if they stay on the vine even one day too long, they become too large, too soft, and completely unsuitable for pickling. Farmers have just 24 hours to get them from the fields to the factory, at peak freshness. To keep up, large farms rely on state-of-the-art harvesting machines designed to work at incredible speeds. These machines move steadily through the fields, slicing the cucumbers from their vines with razor-sharp blades, while conveyor belts swiftly transport them into collection bins. And it's not just about speed, it's about efficiency. Massive transport trucks drive alongside the harvesters, collecting thousands of pounds of cucumbers as they're picked. These machines can harvest up to 50,000 pounds per hour. That's nearly 1 million cucumbers in a single workday. But not every farm uses machines. Some smaller farms still rely on manual harvesting, where workers lie on low-hanging carts, carefully hand-picking each cucumber. It's slow, meticulous work, but for some farmers, it's the best way to ensure only the highest quality cucumbers make the cut. Regardless of how they're harvested, one thing is certain: speed is critical. Once picked, cucumbers must reach the factory within hours because, in the world of pickles, every second matters. Cleaning and sorting. After a fast journey from the farm, truckloads of freshly harvested cucumbers arrive at the factory. But not every cucumber is destined to become a crunchy, flavorful pickle. First, they must pass a series of tests. Only the best will make it through. As soon as the trucks unload, the cucumbers are sent down a massive conveyor belt, leading them straight into a high-pressure water jet system. Picture a powerful, refreshing shower, except this one is designed to blast away dirt, dust, and any lingering debris from the fields. The water is lightly treated with food-safe sanitizers, ensuring every cucumber is pristine and ready for the next stage. But the trick is to clean them thoroughly without damaging their delicate skin, because a great pickle starts with a perfectly fresh cucumber. But machines can't do everything. This is where the human touch comes in. Skilled workers stand along the sorting line, carefully inspecting each cucumber by hand. They're looking for imperfections. Any cucumbers that are too soft, misshapen, or bruised are immediately removed. Think about it. If just one bad cucumber sneaks into the brine tanks, it could affect the entire batch. That's why this step is crucial. Only the firmest, freshest cucumbers make it through. Next, the cucumbers pass through an automated size sorting system. This is what ensures that every pickle jar you buy is filled with uniform, perfectly sized pieces. Whether it's mini gherkins, classic spears, or whole pickles, each cucumber is carefully categorized before moving forward. This step may seem small, but it plays a big role in delivering that satisfying crunch in every bite. Now that the cucumbers are washed, inspected, and sorted, they're ready for the most exciting part, the transformation into pickles. The fermentation process is where the magic truly begins. Get ready, because things are about to get even more interesting. And hey, if you're loving this behind-the-scenes look at food production, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Now comes the most fascinating part, fermentation. This is where cucumbers develop their signature tangy flavor and crunch. It starts with brining, where cucumbers soak in large tanks filled with salt water. Natural lactic acid bacteria begin breaking down sugars, producing lactic acid, which preserves the pickles and gives them their distinct taste. The process takes several weeks under precise temperature control, around 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius, to ensure the perfect balance of flavor and texture. For a faster process, some pickles skip fermentation and are instead soaked in vinegar-based brine, creating a sharper but less complex flavor in just a few days. Not all pickles are the same. Kosher dill pickles are bold and garlicky, packed with dill, while bread and butter pickles offer a sweet and tangy flavor perfect for sandwiches. Gherkins, small, crunchy, and slightly sweet, are a favorite in Europe, whereas half-sour and full-sour pickles develop stronger flavors the longer they ferment. In Japan, tsukemono are pickled in rice, bran, miso, or soy sauce for an umami-rich taste, while kimchi, a spicy, fermented staple from Korea, is packed with probiotics. From traditional fermentation to quick pickling, each method creates a unique taste and texture, shaping the pickles we know and love. After weeks in the brine, cucumbers have transformed into perfectly tangy, crunchy pickles. Before shipping, they undergo final inspection, where a digger machine lifts them onto a conveyor belt for size, shape, and texture checks. Only the best make the cut. Next, they're packed into sterilized glass jars, infused with a flavorful brine of garlic, chili, and herbs, then vacuum sealed and heat sterilized for freshness. Finally, labels are applied and the jars are ready for shipment. Whether whole or sliced, these pickles are now set to hit store shelves and your plate. The health benefits of pickles. Pickles aren't just a tasty snack or the perfect side to your favorite sandwich. They're actually packed with surprising health benefits. Thanks to the fermentation process, pickles are loaded with natural probiotics, the good bacteria that help keep your gut happy and digestion running smoothly. A healthy gut means better nutrient absorption, improved digestion, and even a stronger immune system. But that's not all. Pickles are also incredibly hydrating. Because they're made with a brine that contains water and electrolytes, they can help replenish fluids, making them a great choice after a workout or on a hot day. That's why many athletes actually drink pickle juice to prevent muscle cramps and stay hydrated. And here's something you might not know. Pickles may even help regulate blood sugar levels. Some studies suggest that the vinegar in pickles can improve insulin sensitivity, helping to prevent blood sugar spikes after meals. That means pickles aren't just delicious, they could be So the next time you bite into a crunchy, tangy pickle, know that you're not just enjoying a great flavor, you're also giving your body a little extra boost. From sprawling cucumber fields to cutting-edge production lines, every step of this journey is designed to deliver the perfect, crisp, and flavorful pickles we all love. It's a process that combines nature, science, and precision, ensuring that every bite is as satisfying as the last. If you love learning about the hidden stories behind your favorite foods, now's the time to hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on more behind-the-scenes looks at how everyday foods are made, because we have plenty more surprises coming your way. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Mayonnaise begins with fresh eggs, and lots of them. Inside a massive 2,600 square meter barn, 23,000 free-range hens lay eggs every day. These eggs are collected and placed carefully in trays with the tip down, ensuring the yolk stays perfectly centered. Just 21,500 eggs are enough to produce nearly 11,000 jars of mayonnaise. Once collected, the eggs are transported to a high-tech processing facility that handles up to 4 million eggs per day. Since mayonnaise only uses the egg yolk, the first step is to separate it from the egg white. A high-speed machine cracks and separates 280 eggs in just 10 seconds. The yolks are then pumped into a massive 10,000-liter tank, where salt is added to help preserve them for up to 3 months. But why just the yolk? This is where science comes in. Egg yolks contain lecithin, a natural emulsifier. This means it helps blend oil and water-based ingredients into a stable, creamy mixture, something that wouldn't happen naturally. Without emulsification, oil and vinegar would separate, leaving you with a broken sauce instead of smooth mayonnaise. After pasteurization, the yolks are stored in 1,000 kilogram containers, each one holding enough to make 25,000 jars of mayo. By the way, if you're enjoying this behind-the-scenes look, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing food factory tours. The second major ingredient in mayonnaise is soybean oil, which gives it the rich, smooth consistency we love. The oil arrives at the factory in sealed tanker trucks to ensure freshness and quality. It is then pumped into massive storage tanks, ready to be blended with the egg yolks. Different types of oils can be used in mayonnaise, such as vegetable oil, sunflower oil, or even olive oil, depending on the desired flavor. Mayonnaise isn't just eggs and oil. It gets its signature flavor from a precise combination of ingredients. Vinegar adds tanginess and plays a crucial role in emulsification, ensuring the ingredients blend smoothly. Salt enhances the flavor while also acting as a natural preservative. Mustard provides a subtle tang and further stabilizes the emulsion, helping to maintain the perfect creamy texture. To prepare the mixture, vinegar and salt are first dissolved in water, creating a slurry that ensures the flavors are evenly distributed. This step is essential for balancing taste and consistency. Now, with 3 massive tanks, one holding egg yolk, one with oil, and one with a slurry, the key ingredients are ready to be combined. It's time for the magic to happen. Using a precise dosing system, the exact amounts of egg yolk, oil, and slurry are measured and pumped into a high-speed mixing container. As the ingredients blend together, something magical happens. The mixture thickens into the rich, creamy mayonnaise we all love. To maintain its consistency over time, a small amount of starch is added. The mixture is then gently heated to bring out the full flavor. At this stage, the quality control team takes over. Every few minutes, lab technicians evaluate color, texture, and taste to make sure it meets Hellmann's gold standard. Once approved, the mayonnaise moves to the bottling station. Here, pre-sterilized glass jars travel down a conveyor belt, each one filled with exactly 680 grams of mayonnaise in less than a second. A metal screw cap is placed on top to keep it fresh and prevent tampering. After sealing, a labeling machine applies the Hellmann's branding, and the jars are ready to hit store shelves. But that's not all. Hellmann's also packages mayonnaise in sachets, which are sent to fast food chains and sandwich suppliers worldwide. So there you have it, the fascinating process of turning farm-fresh eggs into the creamy mayonnaise that ends up in your kitchen. Did you know mayonnaise has such a rich history and complex production process? Next time you spread it on a sandwich or mix it into a salad dressing, you'll know exactly what went into making it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing food factory tours. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bread isn't just food. It's history, it's culture, it's survival. More than 10,000 years ago, early humans crushed grains, mixed them with water, and baked the first primitive flatbreads on hot stones. But it was the ancient Egyptians, over 4,000 years ago, who discovered the magic of yeast. By letting dough rest before baking, they created the first leavened bread, changing history forever. Fast forward to the 19th century, and the Industrial Revolution transformed bread making. Machines like mechanical dough mixers and steam-powered ovens revolutionized the industry. Then, in 1928, the world was introduced to sliced bread, making it easier and more convenient than ever before. And today, bread production has become a high-tech marvel, combining precision, efficiency, and scale like never before. Now, let's step inside a state-of-the-art bread factory, where cutting-edge machines transform raw ingredients into millions of loaves, ready for breakfast tables around the world. Everything begins with flour, the heart of every loaf. It starts as wheat, grown in vast fields and harvested at peak ripeness. At the mill, the wheat is cleaned, soaked, and ground into fine flour using massive steel rollers. This flour is then transported to the factory in tanker trucks, where it's stored in giant silos, waiting for its turn in the production line. But flour isn't the only star of the show. Every great loaf also needs yeast, water, salt, sugar, and a few other key ingredients, all measured with absolute precision. In some breads, oil or vinegar is added for texture and flavor, while small amounts of preservatives help extend freshness. Inside the factory, these ingredients travel through a network of pipes and conveyor belts heading toward giant industrial mixers, some large enough to handle 2,000 pounds of dough at once. The mixing process is crucial. The dough must be kneaded to perfection, just the right balance of elasticity and softness. This process also traps tiny air pockets, setting the foundation for that light, airy texture we love. By the way, if you're enjoying this behind-the-scenes look at bread making, hit that subscribe button. We've got more fascinating videos just like this one. Now comes one of the most important and magical steps: fermentation. Yeast, the tiny living organism inside the dough, starts to work. It feeds on the natural sugars in the flour, producing carbon dioxide gas. This gas gets trapped inside the dough, causing it to expand and rise. Some breads take just 50 minutes to ferment, while others, like sourdough, can take up to 48 hours. The longer the fermentation, the deeper the flavor. Temperature and humidity are carefully controlled during this stage. If the dough gets too warm, the yeast works too fast, and the bread loses structure. Too cold? The yeast slows down, and the dough doesn't rise properly. By the time fermentation is complete, the dough has nearly doubled in size, packed with tiny air pockets that will give the final loaf its signature light and fluffy texture. But before it can head into the oven, it needs one more step: shaping. Before the dough can be baked, it needs to take its final form. Machines divide the dough into equal portions, ensuring each loaf is the exact same size. Then, the dough enters the shaping process. For sandwich loaves, the dough is stretched, folded, and rolled into a compact shape before being placed into rectangular molds. For artisan breads, a more delicate touch is needed. Some are carefully hand-shaped to create unique textures and crust patterns. But shaping isn't just about looks, it's about structure. Proper shaping ensures the right texture, making every bite soft and airy on the inside while maintaining a strong outer crust. Now, the dough is placed in molds and given a final rise, also known as proofing. Once ready, it heads straight into the ovens. This is where everything comes together. The loaves enter a massive high-tech oven where temperatures reach up to 475 degrees Fahrenheit, 245 degrees Celsius. Ever wondered why bread turns golden brown? That's thanks to the Maillard reaction, a natural chemical process that enhances both the color and the flavor. Inside the oven, the dough expands, the crust forms, and in just 20 minutes the transformation is complete. Once baked, the bread moves to a cooling system where it rests for up to 2 hours. Why? Because slicing a hot loaf would crush its delicate interior. Cooling allows the structure to set, ensuring every slice is perfect. And just like that, the dough has become bread, warm, golden, and ready for the next step. But there's still more to the journey. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the world of bread making, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There's plenty more fascinating behind-the-scenes content coming your way. Now comes the finishing touch. Slicing giant blades, 6 feet wide, cut each loaf into perfectly even slices at a speed of 65 loaves per minute. The freshly sliced bread is then packed into sealed bags, protecting its freshness before being shipped to stores around the world. From start to finish, the entire journey, from mixing the dough to sealing the package, takes just 5.5 hours. And just like that, another batch of delicious, fluffy loaves is ready to be enjoyed. Ever wonder why bread bags use those small tags? They're designed to lock in freshness while allowing air circulation, keeping the bread soft for days. But here's something you might not know. Many factories color-code their bread tags to indicate the day the bread was baked. This helps store employees rotate stock efficiently, ensuring you always get the freshest loaf on the shelf. Once sealed, the packaged loaves are stacked onto trays and loaded onto temperature-controlled trucks, ready to be shipped to grocery stores and bakeries. Within hours, they'll be on store shelves waiting for you to take them home. And just like that, from farm to factory to your kitchen, another batch of fresh, delicious bread is ready to be enjoyed. But bread making isn't just about tradition, it's about innovation. Many modern bakeries are now adopting sustainable practices, using locally sourced wheat, energy-efficient ovens, and even biodegradable packaging to reduce environmental impact. Some factories recycle waste products or use excess heat from the ovens to power other parts of the facility. Every loaf we eat carries with it thousands of years of history, blended with cutting-edge technology. It's a perfect mix of past, present, and future, brought together in something as simple as a slice of bread. And that's the incredible journey of bread, from fields of wheat to your breakfast table. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've got plenty more amazing stories coming your way, so stay tuned for our next adventure. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep enjoying the simple joys, like a warm, fresh. First, the raw materials need to be thoroughly cleaned. Sugarcane is washed with powerful water jets, while sugar beets are tumbled in massive rotating drums to remove dirt and debris. Then comes the fun part, extracting the sweet juice. For sugarcane, this happens by crushing it through a series of giant rollers, squeezing out every last drop of liquid. The leftover fibrous material, called bagasse, isn't wasted. It's actually burned as fuel to help power the factory. Sugar beets go through a slightly different process. Instead of being crushed, they're sliced into thin strips called cassettes and soaked in hot water tanks. The heat helps break down the plant's cells, releasing the sugar-rich juice. At this stage, the juice doesn't look or taste like the sugar you know. It's dark, murky, and full of impurities. But that's about to change. To transform this raw juice into pure sugar, it needs to go through a series of purification steps. First, the juice is filtered and treated with sulfur dioxide gas, which helps remove unwanted colors and bacteria. Then, it goes through a process called alkalization, where calcium hydroxide, also known as milk of lime, is added. This neutralizes the juice's acidity and causes non-sugar components to separate out as sludge. Fun fact, that sludge isn't wasted. It's actually used as fertilizer in sugar fields. Once purified, the juice is boiled in massive vacuum evaporators, slowly removing water and concentrating its sugar content. By the end of this process, it has gone from just 15% sugar to a thick syrup with 60% sugar. Pretty cool, right? If you're enjoying this deep dive, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on more behind-the-scenes looks at how everyday products are made. Now that we have a thick, sugary syrup, it's time to turn it into actual sugar crystals. This happens inside a giant vacuum pan, where the syrup is heated until it becomes supersaturated. At the perfect moment, tiny sucrose crystals suspended in alcohol, called seed crystals, are introduced into the syrup. These act as a foundation, allowing larger sugar crystals to grow around them. As the syrup thickens, it turns into a dense mixture of sugar crystals and liquid called masacuate. This mixture is slowly stirred and cooled inside giant crystallizers, encouraging even more crystal growth. But we're not done yet. There's still one more big step before we get that perfect granulated sugar. To separate the sugar from the remaining liquid, the masacuate is spun at incredible speeds, sometimes up to 2,800 revolutions per minute, inside perforated metal baskets. The force pushes the molasses outward, leaving behind pure sugar crystals. At this stage, the crystals are still slightly damp, so they're rinsed with spring water to remove any leftover syrup. The molasses is collected and used for other food products, while the sugar moves on to its final transformation. The wet sugar crystals are sent through massive hot air dryers, where warm currents tumble them, gradually reducing their moisture content to an astonishing 0.02%, the gold standard for table sugar. This step is crucial, ensuring the sugar remains dry, free-flowing, and ready for storage. Once perfectly dried, the crystals travel across vibrating screens, where they are carefully sorted by size. The finest grains become powdered sugar, perfect for dusting pastries. Medium-sized crystals are transformed into the granulated sugar that sweetens your coffee and tea. And the coarser, golden-hued crystals? They're used in specialty baking and raw sugar products, adding depth and crunch to gourmet recipes. From there, the sugar is transported to giant silos, where it awaits its final journey, packaging. Industrial machines measure precise portions, filling everything from tiny kitchen-friendly packets to bulk-sized sacks for bakeries and food manufacturers. Sealed, stacked, and shipped, this sugar is finally ready to hit store shelves and sweeten the world. And just like that, the incredible journey from farm to factory is complete. The next time you sprinkle sugar into your morning coffee, bake a birthday cake, or indulge in your favorite dessert, you'll know just how much effort and expertise went into creating those perfect, glistening crystals. If you found this process fascinating, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the everyday products we often take for granted. And if you're curious about how other kitchen essentials are made, check out one of these videos on your screen right now. There's a whole world of food production waiting to be explored. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious, stay sweet, and we'll see you next time. The ingredients. Where it all begins. At the heart of every Oreo are just a few simple ingredients: wheat flour, sugar, cocoa powder, vegetable oil, salt, and vanilla extract. But don't be fooled by their simplicity. Each ingredient is carefully sourced and selected to maintain Oreo's signature taste and texture. Take the cocoa powder, for example. It's not just any cocoa. It comes from premium beans grown in Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Indonesia, roasted and ground to create that deep, rich chocolate flavor. Once the dry ingredients are blended together, something unexpected happens. Dry ice is added to cool the mixture down. Why? Because this tiny detail ensures the dough maintains the perfect consistency when flour is finally introduced. And just like that, the chocolate dough is ready for shaping. But did you know that each Oreo cookie has a hidden detail in its design? We'll reveal that soon. But first, let's see how the cookies get their iconic shape. Shaping and baking, creating the perfect cookie. Now, it's time to transform the dough into the cookies we all recognize. The dough is fed into a high-speed molding machine, where it's shaped into perfectly uniform biscuits. But have you ever looked closely at an Oreo? The design is more than just for show. Each cookie is embossed with 12 four-leaf clovers, 12 dots, the classic Oreo logo. But why? Well, the design wasn't always this detailed. In fact, the first Oreos had a much simpler design until the current pattern was introduced in 1952. Once shaped, the cookies move onto a high-speed conveyor belt, traveling straight into an 85-meter-long oven, about the length of a football field. The temperature is carefully controlled so that the cookies bake evenly and consistently, crisping up just enough while locking in that signature flavor. But what happens if a cookie isn't baked properly? That's where Oreo's advanced quality control system comes in. The filling, the secret behind Oreo's creamy center. The creamy filling of an Oreo isn't just vanilla flavored. It's a carefully engineered formula designed to be the perfect texture between crunchy cookies. The secret: a precise blend of powdered sugar, vegetable shortening, vanilla extract, and a mystery ingredient that gives it its unmistakable smoothness. Inside massive industrial mixers, the sugar and shortening are whipped together at high speeds until the mixture becomes light and fluffy. Once the secret ingredient is added, the filling is ready to be dispensed. Now, here's where the process gets really cool. Each Oreo is assembled with precision, down to the millimeter. A cylindrical pump deposits the perfect amount of filling onto the bottom cookie. But did you know the bottom cookie is slightly larger than the top? This tiny design tweak ensures the filling stays neatly sealed when the second cookie is pressed on top. And just like that, the perfect Oreo sandwich is complete. You already know that Oreos are made from just a few simple ingredients: flour, sugar, cocoa, vegetable oil, salt, and vanilla extract. But have you ever wondered where these ingredients actually come from? They don't just appear in the factory, ready to be mixed. Each one has traveled an incredible journey, from fields, forests, and even underground mines, before becoming part of the world's most famous cookie. They don't just magically appear in the factory. Each one has a long journey, from vast wheat fields, from distant cocoa farms, from deep underground salt mines, before becoming the perfect cookie in your hands. Let's dive in and uncover their incredible story right now. Flour: how Oreo's signature crunch is born. It all begins in vast wheat fields across the US, Canada, Russia, and Australia. Golden stalks sway under the sun for months, absorbing nutrients from the soil until they reach peak ripeness. Then, massive combine harvesters roll in, cutting through thousands of acres of wheat in just a few hours. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all wheat is good enough for Oreo. Only high-gluten wheat makes the cut. This particular variety is packed with proteins that create just the right texture, crispy enough for that signature crunch, yet strong enough to hold the creamy filling. Once harvested, the wheat is sent to high-tech milling facilities, where it goes through an intense transformation. First, it's cleaned to remove dust and husks. Then, it's ground through massive rollers, gradually breaking down into a fine powdery flour. Finally, it's sifted through ultra-fine mesh screens, ensuring only the smoothest, most consistent flour is used. Every batch is tested in a state-of-the-art lab, analyzing its gluten content, moisture levels, and purity to ensure that every Oreo cookie will have the same perfect texture. But flour alone isn't enough. To balance out the rich cocoa and creamy filling, we need the perfect amount of sweetness. And that takes us to our next key ingredient: sugar. How Oreo's iconic cream filling gets its perfect sweetness. Sugar might seem simple, but its journey is anything but. Every grain of sugar in an Oreo has traveled an incredible path, from the sun-drenched fields of sugarcane to the rich soil of sugar beet farms. In tropical regions like Brazil, India, and Thailand, sugarcane plants grow as tall as a person, soaking in sunlight for months before being harvested. The stalks are immediately crushed under massive rollers to release their sweet juice, which is then boiled down into a thick, golden syrup. Meanwhile, in cooler climates like the US and Europe, sugar beets take a different path. Instead of being crushed, these root vegetables are sliced into thin strips and soaked in hot water, allowing their natural sugars to dissolve into a sweet liquid. At this stage, sugar from both sources is still raw, dark, sticky, and filled with natural molasses. To turn it into the fine, snow-white sugar used in Oreo, it goes through an advanced refining process where filtration removes unwanted colors and flavors. Evaporation concentrates the syrup into crystals. High-speed centrifuges separate out the last traces of molasses. But sugar alone isn't what makes Oreo's filling so irresistibly smooth. For that, we need one more key ingredient: vegetable oil. The science behind Oreo's smooth, melt-in-your-mouth filling, the role of vegetable oil. Ever wondered why Oreo's filling stays creamy and smooth, even at room temperature? Or why it never melts like regular frosting? That's not by accident. It's carefully engineered with a precise blend of vegetable oils. These oils, mostly from soybeans, palm trees, and canola plants, are extracted from seeds under extreme pressure, then refined to remove any unwanted flavors. But here's the trick. If you just mix sugar and oil, you won't get Oreo's creamy texture. To achieve that perfect consistency, the oil undergoes a transformation called hydrogenation. This process partially solidifies the oil, creating that thick, whipped texture that holds its shape yet melts smoothly in your mouth. That's why Oreo's filling never separates or becomes too runny. And while the filling is what makes an Oreo instantly recognizable, there's one more ingredient that gives it its deep, unmistakable flavor: the chocolatey richness of the cookie itself. The deep, chocolatey secret of Oreo: the journey of cocoa. Oreo's signature chocolate flavor starts in the heart of the tropics, where the world's finest cacao beans are grown across Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Indonesia. Cacao trees thrive in humid rainforests, shaded by taller trees. When the pods ripen to a deep yellow or reddish hue, farmers hand harvest them, cutting them open to reveal the sticky, pale cacao beans inside. And here's the surprising part. At this stage, cacao beans don't taste like chocolate at all. To develop that rich chocolate flavor, the beans must undergo fermentation. For several days, they are stacked in wooden boxes or covered with banana leaves, where natural bacteria start breaking down their sugars. This process is critical. Without it, the final cocoa powder would taste dull and flat. Once fermented, the beans are dried under the sun, then sent to specialized factories where they are roasted at precise temperatures to bring out their deep, nutty flavors. After roasting, they are ground into a thick chocolatey paste, then pressed to remove cocoa butter, leaving behind pure cocoa powder. But Oreo doesn't just use any cocoa powder. It uses Dutch processed cocoa, which has been treated to remove bitterness and create a smoother, more balanced chocolate taste. That's why Oreo's cocoa isn't too bitter. It has just the right depth of flavor. Salt and vanilla. The hidden touches that make Oreo unforgettable. Salt might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of a sweet treat, but without it, Oreo wouldn't taste the same. A small but crucial amount of fine-grained salt is added to the dough to enhance the chocolate notes and balance the sweetness. And then there's vanilla extract, the final ingredient that gives Oreo its subtle, addictive aroma. The vanilla used in Oreos comes from hand-pollinated orchid flowers in Madagascar, Mexico, and Tahiti. After months of curing and aging, these beans release their signature fragrance, adding just the right amount of warmth and depth to Oreo's creamy filling. With all the ingredients carefully sourced and prepared, the journey isn't over yet. Before an Oreo ever reaches store shelves, it must pass one final challenge: packaging and quality control. Once Oreos are perfectly assembled, they race down a high-speed conveyor belt, where robotic arms stack them neatly into trays. But before they're sealed and shipped worldwide, they must pass one final test. Advanced scanners inspect every cookie, searching for cracks, misaligned layers, or missing filling. Any imperfect Oreos are instantly removed, but they don't go to waste. Instead, they're ground down and recycled into fresh dough, ensuring nothing is wasted. Meanwhile, expert tasters conduct random quality checks, making sure each Oreo has the perfect crunch, flavor, and filling-to-cookie ratio. Then comes packaging. Those plastic trays aren't just for looks, they keep the cookies intact and fresh for up to a year. Sealed in a specialized foil wrap that locks out air and moisture, every Oreo stays as crisp as the moment it left the factory. Ever wondered why dunking an Oreo in milk makes it so much better? It's not just a childhood habit, it's actually science at work. First, there's the texture. The crispy chocolate biscuit soaks up just the right amount of milk, softening slightly without falling apart, if you time it right. This creates the perfect contrast between the initial crunch and the smooth, creamy filling. Then, there's the flavor. Cocoa naturally has a hint of bitterness, but milk's fats help mellow that out, making the chocolate taste richer and the filling even sweeter. It's the ultimate balance. Deep, chocolatey goodness with a hint of creaminess in every bite. And let's not forget the nostalgia factor. Dunking an Oreo takes you back to childhood, bringing comfort, fun, and that tiny moment of joy when you get the perfect milk-drenched but not too soggy bite. Grab an Oreo, give it a dunk, and let the flavors blend into a perfect creamy bite. It's not just a snack, it's a little moment of happiness in every dunk. From classic to birthday cake, from matcha in Japan to wasabi in China, Oreos are constantly reinventing themselves. Whether you eat them straight from the pack, blend them into a milkshake, or bake them into a cheesecake, there's no wrong way to enjoy an Oreo. Love Oreos? Smash that subscribe button. Don't miss out on more behind-the-scenes stories of your favorite snacks. And tell us in the comments, which Oreo flavor is your all-time favorite?